In today's video, you're going to get to see a beautiful 1936 Plymouth two-door sedan. Hello everybody, welcome to Classic Car ChitChat. My name is Kevin. If this is the first time you're coming to my channel, then welcome. I really appreciate you being here today. If you've been to my channel before, then as always, welcome back. Thank you so much for the comments that you leave for me, for your thumbs up, for you subscribing to my channel, and also remembering to hit that notification bell so you know when the next video is available. Today, I have the absolute pleasure of introducing you to a gentleman. His name is Jim. He has a gorgeous 1936 Plymouth two-door sedan. It's the P2 model that he affectionately calls Ruby. You'll see why. Here's the thing, this car has been modified to allow car lovers like Jim that require wheelchair accessibility to drive gorgeous machines like this. You get to see him, how he goes about this, and how this car is retrofitted to allow him to enjoy his passion for driving. This car was actually Canadian built back in the day, and there's only 6,149 of them built, of which he has one, and back then they cost $680. So without further ado, let's hop in, let's go for a drive, let's meet Jim and his beautiful 1936 Plymouth. Jim, rev her for me. Okay, and honk the horn. No, I didn't expect that. That's beautiful. Okay, you can turn her off. What an amazing car. Come on out, sir. All right. You want to talk about that? And I'll come around the other way because you said that one swings out. Okay, hang on a second. Oh, wow. Can I help at all? No?
I haven't quite got this down as an art as I do my regular vehicle, because my regular vehicle I get out in on the driver's side.
You certainly need a lot of upper body strength to make this work, Jim.
Very much.
So this comes out as well, all electronically.
Comes out and then it kneels.
Wow. And that just locks in, Jim? You don't have to...
Yeah, just a snap lock.
So Jim, while you're doing this was actually custom made for you to make this work? Or?
Not necessarily, no. This was the seat that was in the car when I bought it.
Okay.
The base swivel is actually built and designed for disabled people. It's called a tourney seat.
Okay.
And it actually originally came out of a minivan, a Chrysler minivan.
Right.
And it's designed for basically a flat floor exit.
Okay.
So any kind of vehicles that have a cup basin for their seats, it won't work.
I'm amazed
this
as to
particular-
how flush it is.
This particular unit was built for a passenger side exit,
Okay.
so which worked out okay for me. I can get out not in traffic, and
Yes.
you know, if my wife happens to be driving, I just stay on this side, and
Yes.
it actually works very well.
Amazing.
So
Yeah. You know, it's
originally
like
when I bought the car, I kind of was wondering, it's a very long transfer
Okay.
for me to go from the wheelchair to the seat.
Yes.
And again, 30 years in the wheelchair, my shoulders they're worn out, and to try to do that, it's like a gymnast's iron
sure.
cross.
Yeah,
It's just
yeah.
too much. So I thought about different ways of either taking the running board and cutting it and have it drop in and out
Yes.
hydraulically or pneumatically. And a very close friend of mine from Manitoulin Island actually had this swivel unit, and he basically donated it to me,
Fantastic.
thinking that I could use it. So it's actually worked out very well.
Beautiful. What an incredible. Tell me, we never even asked you the question. What exactly are we looking at here? What is this car?
This
May I close
is
the door?
Yep.
I'm going to close the other one too. Hang
Very good.
on. Okay, so tell me what we have here, Jim.
This is Ruby. I call her Ruby. The first time I seen her, I pretty much knew I was going to call her Ruby by the color and kind of a long story. But this is a 1936 Plymouth two-door sedan. It's known as a P2. This is a Windsor Canadian-built car.
Really?
Yes.
I have this thing about Canadian built cars because there's so few, it seems.
Exactly. You
Oh,
see quite a bit of this era of cars in the Fords and in the Chevys. The Plymouths are a little bit rare. In that production year, this was built in the latter end of 1935 in Windsor. There was 6,149 units of these built, and in 1936 these were priced at $625.
My God.
Yeah. To give you a little history
Yes,
of
please.
Plymouth,
Yeah.
when Chrysler was making their vehicles in the late 20s, Chevy had come out with alternate brands, and Chrysler decided that they wanted to do the same thing, and they decided that they would bring out a secondary line. And a popular item within North America, more the US, as a brand name was Plymouth binder twine.
Binder twine?
Yes, that's
Interesting,
where
okay.
Plymouth was kind of based from. This Plymouth was supposed to be kind of the poor man or working man's vehicle, more centered towards the Midwest farmers and stuff.
Okay, yes.
And they figured that the brand name of Plymouth would take very quickly with those people.
I also kind of picture the boys like Al Capone
Yes.
would be kind of thinking about something like this.
Full fendered cars.
yeah.
Not that Al Capone never had a problem with having money.
True, true. True enough. You had problems with the police, I hear, but that's a different matter.
Yeah. Yeah.
How long have you had this car then?
I've had this a year now, and when I bought it, it had sat for a period of time, kind of neglected, and in kind of poor shape when I bought it. And
So it was still this color when you bought it.
it was that color, but just had a lot of dust.
And what about the chrome finishing on it? Was that there before too? Jim?
This is an aftermarket grill. The original grills had basically a center line or a rib, and the front hood ornament was kind of bubbled out like this,
Okay.
and had the Plymouth sailing ship. on it.
Really?
Yeah. like
Okay.
the Mayflower, the Plymouth.
I've never
Yeah.
seen that.
Yeah.
So that would have been the
The
original.
original hood ornament actually came out and then kind of bubbled up like this in a bit of an oval.
Wow.
Yeah. So
And I notice here, even on the side, like the chrome trim, would that have been on the
that
original
is
car?
that is original.
Really?
That is original Plymouth.
And this car would have been originally what color? Like a black or a white, your typical basic colors? you think?
These actually came in about 6 different colors, the kind of black and gray and tan, brown, green, kind of along that very simple monotone type of colors.
These rims are something else though, aren't they?
Yeah, the rims came with the vehicle. Through the winter, I completely overhauled the brakes on it, just for better stopping power. Again, using hand controls, my arm's not like most people's legs, so I wanted a bit more pushing power. So I did a full brake upgrade.
So do you have like a mechanic you typically would go to for all of these?
I chose a shop that was very well known for doing work. They actually won this year's first prize at Motorama.
Is
with
it in
their
Georgia?
vehicle. The roof, if you'll
Yes.
notice, that's actually an original feature.
So it's
of the
not a
vehicle.
sunroof or anything.
No, but I believe in the early years, rather than the full cost of stamping out a full roof,
Right.
they would stamp that out, but the whole center panel would have been open to reduce costs.
Okay.
And they basically leathered or vinyled, I don't know whether vinyl existed, but they would have
cool.
leathered that over.
Incredible. And the back window, the rear window, would have been original size and
That's
everything? No
fully
change?
original.
And even the trunk design as well?
Yeah, the Chevys and the Fords, they were pretty much a straight back.
Okay.
These are what they call a bustle back.
Say that
Kind of
again?
A bustle back,
Bustle?
same
Yeah,
as
okay.
same as like the women's dress bustle.
I see, okay.
Yeah, kind of. The bustles were known in women's dresses, kind of in the mid to late '80s
Right.
or 1800s. And so these actually came with a bit of a bustle trunk.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can picture what you say now. I can sort of
Yeah.
picture sort of the Victorian era, the 50s era, and they're wearing
Yeah, the
sort of those
women
dresses.
all
yeah.
had their big bustle dresses, and
You got to have the California cleaner in there as well. That's a tradition.
yes.
Amazing. And this key, what does that actually control?
This is a dead kill for the battery. That
Oh,
if
see.
I
and the battery's right there, is it?
yeah,
Okay.
that's a battery box.
Yeah.
I put that in through the winter, and what that does is it fully disconnects all DC power to the rest of the car.
Amazing.
So during the winter months, I don't have to worry about parasitic draw on the battery.
Right.
It's just a straight dead kill. It's also a safety device.
Excellent.
That if I park the vehicle, you can't
No
take it
one's
without
going to
this.
do it. Yes.
Yeah.
I love the taillights too. Just the teardrop
These
sort
are
of design.
kind of these are actually a style of the late 30s Fords.
Okay.
Yeah, the original lights, they were of the Dodges and the Plymouths, were more of a trumpet style light that kind of stuck out here, but they actually look like a trumpet horn.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Okay.
very difficult to find. If I could find them, I would definitely replace it. And
It has a cool look to it when you say it like that. Just the
Yeah.
fact that it protrudes out. Would it have been chrome or same?
they would have been
body
chrome
color? Yeah.
or steel painted
Okay.
back then. But yeah, they were trumpet style
Okay.
lights.
And the running boards here as well.
The running boards are all original.
Wow.
So
And the original car would have had like metal, like
yes,
chrome perhaps
yes,
even.
yeah. They may have had an original. They would have either just been straight metal painted. Some of the advanced models may have had wood strips on them as well.
Got it.
So
And the rear tires are obviously bigger than the front, are they?
yes,
They look it.
they're the same rim size.
Yes.
These are a 55
Yeah.
profile. The fronts are 40
Okay.
series profile.
But it
just-
does have that rake to it. It just leans
gives the
forward.
car a really,
Yeah,
really
the-
nice
the
rake. 350
rake.
Chevy engine is mated with a turbo-hydromatic 350 transmission, 3-speed. That goes back to a Ford 9-inch rear end.
Okay.
Pretty much a good bulletproof driveline. The front steering clip is a Mustang 2 steering clip, which is kind of one of the favorite choices for rodders. They
Right.
like the Mustang 2
Yeah.
rack and suspension.
Like in the true hot rod spirit, though, it does have all parts from all kinds of vehicles to make this run the way you want it to.
It's very stiff, but it's go-kart-like on its driving. So
And what is the name of this color, by the way?
I'm not actually sure.
You know what it reminds me of? It takes me back a few years. I remember back in England, I had my first bicycle. I think it was actually brand new, if I'm not mistaken. And it had this color. And it just shone so perfectly with the metal flake and everything else and whatever the heck
ruby.
this color is.
It's just a ruby.
Yeah, it works though, doesn't it? Fantastic. Is this one of your hidden air conditioning little
Yes.
vents right there? There we go. The side mirrors too on this, Jim, would have been not the original. Like
No, the original mirrors probably would have been either mounted here with a little 3-inch round mirror on them.
Yes, like
So-
the tiny little, yeah.
Yeah, just 3-inch. So, yeah, you don't really see a whole lot behind you with these.
True.
So,
It's quite something though. So anything else mechanically that sort of comes to mind that, oh, four-wheel disc brakes too. So
Sorry?
definitely, four-wheel disc brakes are definitely
Yes.
good stopping power.
yeah, again, just really beefed up the brakes, driving with hand controls. Yeah, I wanted stopping power. So,
The one thing that I'm wondering, the original car too, would it have the doors opening the same way or would it have gone?
they open this way. They didn't open suicide.
Okay.
Yeah. Some of that era, they did.
Right.
These particular ones did not.
Okay. This is just magnificent. This has not been chopped or anything. This is the
No,
original
this is the
height.
original rake.
And the height of the glass and the panels again, no.
No chopping.
Wow.
That's just
It
a
is
straight.
just beautiful.
That's just a straight suspension drop.
Okay. It's beautiful.
Yeah. So.
And what about the engine on this? Are we able to open
Yeah.
it up?
Yeah. I don't know whether you want to stop that.
Can I hold it? Oh, it's got a little thing. How clever. This is not the original engine.
This is
Jim.
not the original engine. The original engine was a 200 cubic inch inline 6-cylinder, and this has been replaced
By you?
by the previous owner.
Wow.
This is a small block 4-bolt 350 Chevy.
You could eat off of this thing, Jim.
It's mildly cammed.
My
And
lord.
I put an electric cooling fan on it
Right.
just because it does heat up when you're in slow traffic.
Yes.
And
It's a reminder to us that they're old cars and we have to treat them that way with respect too.
this particular engine is out of a very early 70s Chevy.
Oh, I noticed this, Jim. The way it spirals like that.
Yeah.
Is there a purpose for that?
Not that I'm aware of. I have seen it many times, and I'm not sure whether it has to do with helping cool fluid or whether
Like
it
adding more
has-
volume or length in theory?
That's quite possible.
Yeah.
So
It does look cool too though. We'll give it
yeah,
that. But
Yeah.
wow.
So
And it's obviously up
engine
now.
is-
Do you have air conditioning and things in this
No,
as well?
no,
No, okay.
no. I can show you the two options for air conditioning.
Cooling, yes,
Yeah,
windows.
that it has, and but it does not have air conditioning.
That's okay.
So
this is an amazing.
It does have the original 1936 heater box
Really?
in it, and
I love the fact it's got original parts to
and
it
it's
as well.
still functional.
I love your bumpers too. That just kind of gets me. Like the way
Bumperettes.
they kind of bumperettes, yes?
Bumperettes.
How cool is that?
Yeah.
What a design. I like the lamps as well.
The lights are. I had original lights in it when I bought it,
Right.
and you could see about 6 feet in front of you at night, and it was literally like driving blind at night.
Yes.
It's very scary. So I replaced them with a LED
Yeah.
lights with a halo bulb
Okay.
that run as my daytime running lights,
Very nice.
and they have the integrated amber blinker as
Inside
well,
there.
inside the light.
Got it.
The original blinkers
Yeah.
here
Yes.
also are still hooked up and work, but trying to see these across an intersection are
Right.
a little testing.
Oh, I can just kind of make out the color
Yeah.
in there. Yes.
Yeah, it's dual color. So you'll have the white clear as
Yeah.
a daytime running light, and then it goes amber, flashing amber.
Yeah.
With when I start it back up, I can
You
kind of
see
show
it,
you the way
yes.
that they blink.
So when you're blinking the light and the full headlamps are
If the full headlights are on, the full headlight goes off,
temporarily,
and
yeah.
just the amber
Got it.
blinker is on.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I noticed too you have one wiper blade. The original car would have had the same, Jim?
Yes, in 1936, you had the option of a single wiper or a dual wiper.
It was an option.
That was an option, single or dual.
Wow.
They were vacuum controlled.
Right.
They weren't. This is an electric motor on this, but it was a. In that year, they were either a single or a dual wiper option.
Incredible.
Yeah.
What an absolutely beautiful machine.
Yeah.
And I like these little design elements too.
They're
Just the way,
gorgeous. Yep.
just lovely. They didn't have to do that, but I just find when they do these little things, it just makes a statement
Well,
somehow.
again, the automotive industry have just completely got away from that
Yes.
with all their vehicles
Yeah.
and trying to streamline them. They just have no character.
No character, and as you know, as my friend Doug Ellis would say, they're all belly button cars because they all look the same.
Yep.
So, gone are the days when you had cars like this with character. You could tell one car apart from the other.
And and the big push now is emissions and fuel economy, and if you take this out on a nice cruise and just baby it along, it'll give you 21 miles to the gallon.
Right.
If I had a 4-speed transmission in it, it'd probably be even better.
Yes.
So
But just made for weather like this, just tooting around, your passion and love for cars definitely comes through.
no, she's definitely a true passion for me.
Can we take a look inside to see your controls before you hop in?
That's for you.
All right, so how have you got this set up now?
Yeah, these hand controls, I had a company in Waterloo set these up.
Okay,
And basically the way they work is if I
so
push
that is
straight
connected to
forward,
your brake.
That's connected to
so
the
when you
brake arm.
push it
So
down,
just straight forward push
yeah,
gives me the brake.
got
And
it.
then if I push it down towards my lap or my leg, it acts like a cantilever, and that runs the accelerator.
My lord. So one control does it all.
One control.
Now the steering is power steering?
It's power steering.
Right.
It's rack and pinion on the front. It also has a tilt control for the steering column.
Amazing. And then basically, this portion of it, the driver's side, other than the mechanical assistance that has been added, would have been more or less the original, the way the car came.
Anyone can still get in and drive this.
So you can retrofit just about any vehicle like this.
Pretty much. And it gets even more electronically controlled than these. You can actually drive your vehicle or any vehicle
Right.
with joysticks. You
Very
don't
good
even,
to know.
with all electronic servos
Yes.
for steering and braking. You can all do it just through
It's your hand
complete joystick
control.
driving.
Amazing. Now I notice here you've got, instead of the traditional speedometer and all that on the driver's side, would
My
it have been-
speedometer is in the original speedometer position.
Okay.
The original speedometer was actually quite large.
Okay.
It was pretty much the full size of that panel,
Interesting.
and
really?
it had your gauges and a large speedometer in it.
Right.
Again, very rare to find. That was replaced with the video gauges.
And again, it shows miles per hour as opposed to
This
kilometers.
is
in
miles,
this.
yeah.
Very cool. And the little knobs that you have, there's 4 options there.
First switch to the left is for my lights.
Okay.
Second is for my wiper.
Right.
Third is the blower fan.
Okay.
And the final one is for the heater
Okay.
hose valve to shut my coolant
All
heater
right, okay.
to come into the original heater box.
Got it.
So the original heater box on the right side there,
Yeah.
again, very archaic. It has a manual swivel and manual flaps.
I think
on
it's
it.
fantastic.
Yeah,
Isn't
so
that
if you
something?
just touch each one of the flaps, they'll
Just like
open.
that? Oh, I see.
Yeah.
How fantastic.
And then if you grab the bottom swivel knob, it just spins like a clock.
Oh, so you can adjust it accordingly.
Yeah,
I'm
as
with you.
to where you want it directed.
Mechanical, but it
Yeah,
works.
it does,
That's
yeah.
ingenuity for
Yeah,
you.
that's 86 years old.
Now, the original shifter, would it have been a column shifter, or this is where it's always been mounted?
They had probably a floor shift on these.
Okay.
So they did do an upper column shift.
Yes.
So the original story
Yeah.
with the column shift kind of goes back that a lot of the older vehicles of this era had bench seats.
Okay.
And when you were driving by yourself, you could shift and be at your pleasure.
Yes.
But if you happen to have, your sweetheart and your buddy
Right.
in the vehicle in the bench seat, and you had to come down to shift second
yeah.
or third, well, you were just getting a little personal. And so that was kind of one of the original ideas why they decided to put a column
Isn't that
shift
something?
on, is that
Wow.
you weren't getting a little too personal with your person in the
A little
center.
too close for comfort, as one would say. I
Exactly.
think it's great.
Yeah.
And I see you've got the radio mounted there.
Yes.
That's all retro.
Yeah.
This rear view mirror, again, original position would have been up there?
That, if it even had one.
Okay.
Kind of in that era, they were either mounted on the dash or they could have been mounted up here. I'm not overly sure as to its positioning.
And the
So-
rear, I mean, you could actually get 4 people in here comfortably.
This is a 2-door sedan, so yeah.
Nice. All right. Shall we
So
go
Jim,
for a
this
little
is
drive?
not
Not a standard wheelchair that comes apart like
No, this is basically a custom chair. It's ultra light. The materials are basically titanium and carbon fiber. It's
And you got some graphics on here too. Look at
yeah,
that.
this the older style graphics, they used to put stickers on them.
Right.
This is actually media blasted, so it's permanently in the metal.
The devil himself. How about
Yeah,
that?
it,
Very cool. And
it's
this is all aluminum, as they say.
Titanium.
Titanium.
Yeah,
Wow.
titanium and carbon fiber.
Can I see how heavy it is?
Oh, it's extremely
Oh,
light.
it is heavy.
Yeah,
it's
go
got,
ahead,
it's
you
got a
pick
good.
it- pick it up.
Yeah, it's got a good weight to
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
It's substantial.
But again, compared to a hospital chair, a hospital
Right.
chair is about 60 pounds. Alrighty.
All right.
Yeah, so
hang on a second.
on the early edition air conditioning, this actually controlled an air flap on the front. So when
Oh,
you're
wow. And there's a grill on it too. How about that? You
Yeah.
don't want the bugs getting in.
exactly, and that actually allows a fair amount of fresh air coming in.
Right.
With that, it also had the option of a crank out windshield.
God. It's like an awning style. Hey, look how long the darn thing is.
Yeah, that actually
Where does all that go even? Like straight
it actually
down?
comes straight down. Yeah, so
My
yeah, I
lord.
kind of had to watch because the wiring in here was starting to interfere with it. So
My lord.
I had to.
Jim, that's something else.
Yeah.
Do you use these air conditioning features from time to time? Or do you generally just leave it?
Driving, I don't open the window just because bugs and
Yes.
you know, just of how frail it is. But you open that and yeah, it lets a lot of fresh air in.
Yeah, especially when you got the side windows
Exactly,
open.
it gets pretty warm in here.
ventilation.
So
Oh,
that much heat coming off the engine,
right on.
it cooks up.
Okay.
Another option you may want, I'll kind of show you on this side. Back in the day, before vehicles come out with their little tiny vent
Yeah,
windows,
side-
you've seen on
yeah,
some
yeah,
of the
yeah.
later models had the vent windows. These actually were designed that when you did the first crank, it came back. And then after,
Oh, yes,
that crank,
right. Then it goes
then the
down.
window drops.
So they thought about that too.
So,
didn't they? So
same
for a
thing-
smoker, for
same thing
example.
going up, yeah.
Yeah.
It would actually vent out and
then all the
then
way.
close. So, yeah. See, in 1936, these had no defroster.
Okay.
Defrost, the actual heater defrost, come out the following year in 1937.
Right.
And
So you rev it just like that. How about that? So your other car too, Jim, is got the same
it's
sort of
got-
mechanism?
Yeah, I drive an 08 Dodge Magnum.
Okay.
So,
What, your other car's a Magnum?
yep.
That's a beauty as well. We should do a video about that one day.
I absolutely love that car.
I bet.
You know, I don't ever want to get rid of it. And if they were ever to make a new one, I would instantly go in tomorrow and
Good
buy
for
it.
you.
So,
All right. And in terms of gas, premium unleaded in this thing?
definitely.
Yeah,
Yeah, this,
okay.
it runs on, it pings, if I put regular in it.
It's a reminder.
Yeah.
And that's the original motor? or
That's
the-
where the motor would be
for
for
the
the
wiper.
Yeah, the wiper.
Wonderful.
So,
Alrighty.
alrighty.
Yes.
So the tolerances of this hand control, I actually need my handle there, otherwise it's
Oh,
when they
okay.
put this in, it was right against the door, so
Right.
they had to keep chopping and modifying it
Just to get it to
to
work.
tighten up that it would actually drive. And this is the slate cam.
Yeah. It's got a beautiful sound to the engine though, Jim. And we'll turn left here. So you were saying earlier that you ended up having to modify your cars due to what exactly happened? You had an accident? you
I'm
mentioned?
involved in a motorcycle racing accident. I raced motorcycles back when I was a little younger, and I got bucked off the bike one day, and the bike hit me in the back, broke my back.
Oh, wow.
Spent a year in the hospital. Basically, I learned to walk with leg braces, and took a lot of energy and a lot of strength. But
How
wait.
many years ago was that, Jim?
that was 31 years ago.
When you were a young man, so
Yeah.
you really
Yeah.
got the brunt of it.
Yeah. So,
Certainly a life-changing event.
all life altering.
Yes.
Life altering. And
But I'm just so
I was
in
very,
awe of
yeah,
you.
just very passionate with
Yeah.
motorcycles at the time,
Right.
and you know, basically anything that really had a motor.
Yeah.
You know, bikes, boats, snowmobiles, and if it had an engine, I pretty much had it.
Right.
So, loved to play. When it cruises along at you know, 50 mile an hour, 55 mile an hour, it's nice and quiet, and it just kind of sings to you.
So no
So,
cruise control or anything like that. You just use
very,
got to keep your hand
very
on there.
basic.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think most riders kind of want it that way.
Yes.
So the when you get it on an old bumpy road and stuff like that, the old tin box kind of talks to you.
Yes, of course. It's called character as well. We can turn right here, actually. It certainly gets a lot of attention though, doesn't it?
It does.
Keep going straight. But you know what, I'm just in awe as to your passion for the car and making your passion for even modifying a car that most people would have thought, you know, I'm not driving again, or I'm not going to be able to do this or that. But just the fact that you did is incredible, Jim.
It all starts with an idea, and you know, some people are dreamers, some people are thinkers, and some people just don't want to do anything to.
So right on Ontario Street again. But you know what? You didn't give up. You had this desire and passion, and you made it work, and it's magnificent. Oh, yeah, that handbrake thing does work for you. I'll give you that. And you can park it back in there again.
Yeah, Ruby's like a girl at a party.
Oh, she is indeed. And a pretty one at that. The prettiest one in the
When you
block.
want to have fun, she's a drinker.
Have you used that line before, or are you just making it
Oh,
up?
that's Ruby.
Oh, look at this. I didn't even notice that. You've got your little clock in there too.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it would have been just vacant space. So there. And that's just electric fan
That's
just
just the
winding
fan.
down.
Yeah, it'll blow until it gets below 180 degrees and then shut down.
All right.
So.
You rascal, Jim.
Is that a way to end your
Yeah,
video?
you didn't know you were doing that, did you?
Is
That's
that
really
a way to end your video?
Yeah, that's a nice ending to the video for sure. But Jim, in all seriousness, I want to thank you.
Oh.
Thank you for your time. Thank you for showing me what you can do when you really have the passion and the drive to make something work for you. You did it, and you're a testament. So that's amazing. So
I
thank
encourage
you.
all.
I truly appreciate it.
Encourage all the same.
Yeah, definitely. Don't give up. Right?
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.